Hi, boys and girls. You might wonder, why is Kirsten sitting in a tent this week? Well, today's story is all about a couple who go on a long journey and they have to stay in tents too. Isn't it fun staying in tents? I loved making dens when I was a little girl. Let's see what happens in the story with Abraham and Sarah today.
The Holy Tales.
Hello, my name is Tubby. I live here in this wonderful library and I love to eat books. I live here with my friends Gumbo and Freckles. Gumbo, Freckles, come out, wherever you are. Over there, on that great book, is Grand Old Holy. She is really old and wise and tells us wonderful stories when she is awake, that is. Oh, and we love to sing.
Father Abraham had many sons. Many sons had Father Abraham. I am one of them, and so are you. So let's all praise the Lord right on.
Since you are singing this song today, I am going to tell you a story about Father Abraham and God's promise to him.
Oh, yes. Tell us the story. We love the song and want to know the story behind it.
Okay. Long, long ago, there was a city named Ur. A good man called Abraham lived there. Abraham truly believed in God. God saw this and was very happy because at this time, not many people believed in God. He said to himself,
Abraham deserves to be rewarded for being such a good man.
So one day, God came to him and asked him to go to another place far, far away. He said,
I promise you, Abraham, that you and your family will be great, and everyone on earth will be blessed because of you.
Since Abraham trusted God and believed in him, he left Ur with his family. They traveled over hills and rivers and came to a land called Canaan. They camped by a big oak tree at Moreh. There at Moreh, God came to Abraham once again. This time he blessed Abraham and said,
This land belongs to you and your children, and the world is a blessed place because you are such a good man.
So Abraham built a beautiful altar for God and worshipped him. But God's gift worried Abraham. He said,
I'm getting old and have no children to enjoy your gift.
God then took Abraham outside and asked him to look up at the sky. He said,
Try and count the number of stars in the sky.
Abraham started counting the stars. God blessed him and said,
I will give you more children than you can count.
Abraham believed God and was happy.
Oh, is this why we are all children of Father Abraham?
Today's question is, what did God promise Abraham?
Oh, I think he promised to make Father Abraham the king of Canaan.
No, silly. He promised him as many children as there were stars in the sky. So, he had zillions and zillions of children.
Father Abraham had many sons. Many sons had Father Abraham. I am one of them, and so are you. So let's all praise the Lord right on.
The Holy Tales. The Holy Tales.
Holy, holy.
Oh, hello, kids. It's time for a story, right?
Yes. Wake up. Tell us a story from the Bible.
All right, all right. Today's story is about three angels who come to meet Abraham and his wife Sarah. Abram and Sarai were now called Abraham and Sarah. God changed their names because now Abraham would become the father of many nations. They continued traveling around in search of food and water for their animals. One place Abraham and Sarah set up their tent was near a small grove of oak trees. The trees gave them shade from the hot desert sun. One day, Abraham was sitting in front of his tent when he saw three men a little way off. He ran to them and said,
You may rest here for a while, if you like. You can sit under the cool shade of these trees. My servants will get water to wash your feet, and I'll get some food for you. Just stay and rest before you go on your way again.
The men agreed. Abraham ran inside the tent and told Sarah to bake some bread quickly, and then he ran out to his herds and chose a nice calf to cook. When the food was ready, Abraham served it to the men. While the men were eating, they asked Abraham,
Where is your wife, Sarah? She is inside the tent.
Abraham answered. Then one of the men said,
About this time next year, I will come back this way again. By that time, your wife Sarah will have a baby boy.
Sarah heard the men talking as she stood near the tent. When she heard the man say that she was going to have a baby, she laughed to herself. She and Abraham were very old, way too old to have a baby. How can an old body like mine have a baby? It wore out a long time ago, and Abraham is an old man too. God knew that Sarah was laughing at the news, so he asked Abraham,
Why did Sarah laugh? Why did she say that she is too old to have a baby? Does she think that this is too hard for God? I am telling you that a year from now, I will come back here and Sarah will have a baby.
Sarah was scared to admit that she had laughed at what God said, so she denied that she had laughed. But God said,
That's not true, Sarah. You did laugh.
Whoa! That was such a nice story. I loved it, Holy.
I'm glad you did. So the question for the day is, by what names were Abram and Sarai now called?
They were now known as Abraham and Sarah. Am I right, Holy?
Of course, dear. Good job, Gumbo.
Bye, Holy. We'll be back soon for another story.
Bye, kids.
Weren't Abraham and Sarah so brave? Imagine leaving your house, your friends, and everything you know to go on a big, long journey because God tells you to. They had such faith and they knew it was the right thing to do. But I still think it was very brave. And remember, they didn't have a car, they didn't have a train, they had to walk and go by donkeys and horses, and they had tents to carry and all the animals to take. Oh, it sounds exhausting, but they did it. And then, even more amazing, was that God told them they were going to have a baby, and Rebecca laughed because she said, I'm too old. But you know what? They did, and they called him Isaac. And that is the most amazing thing, that God kept his promises to them and they had the faith to listen. And the last thing that's even more amazing is that Abraham is Jesus' great 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 something great granddad. So they had Abraham and then all the relatives, and then came Jesus. And that's what happened. So shall we do some crafts now and see what we're going to do this week? The first craft we have this week is Abraham and Sarah's tent. And look, the door opens and it goes down. And it shuts and it keeps them safe at night, doesn't it? Now what I have used is a cardboard box. And I have just covered it with paper. And the cardboard box I used had a special little door that opens anyway. But you can make your own, can't you? All you need is a box, and like last week with Noah, you just need to cut a door in it or get someone to help you and cover it up. But there's one last thing we need to do, because people might not know whose tent it is, so let's have a look. Will I write Abraham and Sarah, just in case anybody doesn't know who lives there. So that's Abraham and Sarah's tent. So that's pretty cool. Now the other thing, which is really good, which we're going to do next, is a map. The next thing we're going to do is to make a map. Just like Sarah and Abraham travelled, we're going to make a map of where we would like to travel. Or you can put Abraham and Sarah on your map and they can follow the journey. So what I have got is 2 pieces of paper, and they are sellotaped together at the back. And what I'm going to do is add on another bit of paper here. See? And a bit of paper here. So I'm going to turn it over and I am going to sellotape it. So let's turn it over. There we go. And then all we need to do is to put sellotape on, and then we have got a massive bit of paper to do our own maps. And now we have a massive bit of paper to draw our own map. So I'm going to start mine, and then we'll see how far we get. And on mine, I'm going to put some of the things that Sarah and Abraham might have seen. But when you do yours, you can put on your map whatever you think you would like to see. So here is Abraham and Sarah, all ready to go. Lot, their nephew, and one of their maids. Look, they've got a family dog, got all the animals that they're taking with them, and they've got a horse to help them too. And they're ready to leave from Ur to go on their incredible, amazing journey that God's sending them on, even though they don't know where they're going. So let's see, they're going to pass some trees, some mountains. There's their tents for the night. They have to reach there. That's a long way away. There's a river that goes here, hills here, and some more tents here. So you can do your own map for Abraham and Sarah and their journey, or you could do your own map for your journey and where you'd like to go, and put on it places that you'd like. And I would love to see if you do that. If you take a picture, you can send it to me. So let's have a look and see if we can get them to their first campsite. Right, off you go, guys. There they go. There's Abraham and Sarah. Oh, there's Lot, one of the maids. Oh, the cows arrived. Oh, the horses arrived. Oh, the dog's arrived. He'll stay there. There's a hen. A bull. and a sheep. But we forgot something, didn't we? They might need some water. So we'll just move the dog a bit and we'll just do a pool, like a little lake, so they can all get a little drink while they're camping. Wouldn't that be nice? Especially when you're thirsty and it's very hot where they are. And there they are, all ready to camp their first night. Now we're just going to quickly move these guys, and I want to show you something else. Like in the story said, Abraham and Sarah, they journeyed for a long, long time. So they went for far, they probably went miles and miles and hundreds of miles. And look, they ended up, they were very old. And their hair was all white and grey. And they still didn't have a baby, but God said, do you know what? You're going to have a baby, didn't he? And look, here is baby Isaac. And that is Abraham and Sarah and baby Isaac, and God kept his promises. Now the last thing we are going to do is we need some black card, some yellow paint, and just a little paintbrush like this size, or you can use a cotton swab or something small just to dab, because remember how God showed Abraham the stars in the sky? Well, what we're going to do is just a night sky with lots of stars, because he said you will be the father of many nations and you will have more children than the stars in the sky. And that is a nice thing to think about, isn't it? How God kept his promise to Abraham, and Abraham had his faith in God. So that's my starry sky. But what I'm going to do as well is, I'm going to turn this around and see if I can do it this way for you, is I'm going to draw a little stick man. And that is to remember that Abraham looked up to the sky and he saw all the stars, and he knew that he would have more children than there are stars in the sky. So let's have a little look. And just lift it up a little bit. There you go. So you can do your own night sky picture too. So I hope you enjoyed that story today, all about Abraham and Sarah and the big long journey they took. Now there are 2 songs this week, but they're both the same. Why? Well, the first one shows you the actions to the song, and the second one is like a cartoon of it. But when you know the actions from the first one, you can join in your own actions on the second one with the cartoon. So you can choose whichever one you like. Next week, we are going to look at Joseph. And that's a really, really exciting story. So I'm looking forward to telling you all about Joseph. So until then, have a good week and have fun in the sun. And I look forward to seeing your maps. I look forward to seeing your tents. If you have any pictures to send me, just say to Mum, Dad, Granny, Auntie, whoever, they can email or they can message my Facebook page or put a comment with the photo in, okay? So for mums, dads, carers, if you do want to send pictures, just attach them in the comments and then we can have a look and show them. And I can put them on my art wall. So thank you for listening, and I shall see you next week. Bye.